Chris Silverthorne, most of you know me as Taffs region, and I've been on about doing a Newport County video blog since the beginning of the season, and I've only just got around to doing it now, so we'll give it a crack and see how it goes. Long story of the season, obviously. Going back to the beginning, obviously after having Wembley, which was unbelievable, no one would have expected us to ever really get there, and when we did, it went, even though we lost the game, it still went better than I ever thought it would do. And I say it's a day that I'll live in my memory forever. So in reality though, looking back at it, we were in a relegation fight, and to be honest with you, we weren't really expecting much from this season. I'd say most people I spoke to would say a top half finish would have been great, but somehow we managed to exceed all expectations. Justin Envery's put together a magnificent team that have just given us a great season, and my expectation now is promotion, which a lot of people will expect. I mean, we added on that squad, the bad wood has been taken out, and now winning our games in hand would take us back top, thanks to a nice little favour from Braintree. Cheers for that. Yeah, Wrexham, Grimsby and Kidderminster I think are going to be our main contenders for it. Forest Green, even though they got some good players, they've been dropping too many poor points here and there. I think those three teams are going to be the ones that are going to stop us, although Luton, they could creep back into it. They got a few games in hand themselves, so yeah, we'll see how they do. I mean, with the FA Cup run that they've had, I can't really see them having the steam to carry on, and well, they've been dropping a lot of poor points themselves, but you can never really underestimate Luton. Well, title challengers, obviously we've got to mention the players that have made this possible. I mean, you've got to start with Captain David Pipe. He's been brilliant. He's led by example. You can see he's come a long way since his jail term, and the team just seem so much better and more together than I've seen them for a long time, with him as skipper. I think the better performing players have got to start from the front and look at the goalkeeper. Lenny Pidgley, not exactly favoured at the beginning, come into his own, made the #1 spot his own, and then to have it taken away for Alan Julian, where if you're a County fan, I don't really need to say much about Alan Julian. Potential to be a good keeper, but for me it's got to be Lenny Pidgley #1. We've spoken about Pipe. I think Yakubu has been unreal this year. I thought he was good last season. He's just stepped it up so much more this year, scoring goals, just looking at rock in the defence, and fair play to him. Can't fault him at all. Tony James coming into it, he's been another top performer. One of my favourite goals of this season was him away at Mansfield, so fair play to him, he's been unreal. And for me, Andy Sandell, possibly the best player so far this year for me. Best left foot in the division, best left back, best left winger, and for me he could be playing championship level, so Sandell, top player. Biggest surprise, I think, Max Porter. Sort of on the fence with him towards the end of last season. I think having the better pitch helps him with his game. He seems to be better with the ball at his feet, picking at his passes. Maybe the better pitch is doing that for him, I don't know. But he's playing great this year. Lee Evans was great. A shame to see him go, but it would really stop him from going to Wolves. Great club. And thanks for the effort you've made this season for us before moving on. Would have been nice to have had you back on loan, but brings me on to another player which I'm impressed with, even though he's only played a couple of games with us, is Scott Donnelly. He just looks the real deal, and with him in midfield, with Flinney, who's come into his own, bit of a shaky start, but now he's showing why he was once a championship player. Scoring himself a couple of goals now as well, which is great. And the one against Cambridge in particular, I enjoyed very much. Look at Lee Minshall as well. He's come a long way. I think he's playing really well more recently than any other part of the season. But he's had his good games, his bad games, and fair play, he's come into his own more now. Who have I forgotten? I've probably forgotten midfielders. I haven't got it written down or anything like that, so So they're the ones that are really standing out at the moment. Up front, Aaron O'Connor, obviously. Top scorer in the division even. Sad to see Ryan Charles go. I mean, I know he wasn't really doing the business, but I think he had potential to have been a lot better. Justin Edinburgh saw something in him, so, well, thanks for the Forest Green goal. An absolute peach that was. I think signing Jolly's going to be a massive thing for us if we're going to get promoted. I think having a player of his quality definitely gives us an advantage, so looking forward to seeing more from him. Robbie Wilmot, got still to see more from him, but he had a lot of good things about him. His goals against Lincoln, he took them well, and I think we're still to see the best of him. Rhys Griffiths, I've never actually ever seen him play before, but his goal scoring record speaks for itself, same as Connor Washington. Obviously he's got to get more games, but while we're pushing for this promotion now, while we're pushing for the title, I really do think we need to play with our strongest players, and players like Washington will get his chance, well, if we get injuries or later in the season or maybe in seasons to come. He's a young prospect, and a goal scoring record like his, even though it's at a much lower level, just shows he knows where the net is, so let's see what comes from him. I say, well, for the rest of the team, if I've missed anybody out, it's been a great season, as I said, and we are very much looking at least like we're going to be in the playoffs now. So fingers crossed we keep up our run of form now, and we at least make the playoffs. But for me, I'm going for the title. I really think we've got what it takes to win it. We've just got the quality throughout. So yeah, year to year from me, title this year. I've got to move on to what I think about the message board. To be fair, there's a lot of bans being thrown around. I could have been banned myself for a few things I've said on there. Never ever intend to offend anyone. Just like to speak my mind, which is the same for a lot of other people. And as much as I respect people like Neil Cork and Stan Einstein, I got a lot of respect for the likes of yourselves for speaking your mind. I think it's the negativity from the message board has been well known to be a poison on the club, and personally is something that we could really do without. You know, keep the positivity going, get behind the players and embrace the fact that we're in a title challenge that we never ever really expected to get into. Just go with it, guys, just enjoy it. You know, this is, if we don't go up this season, we might not get another chance for the next 2 or 3 years. So really get behind the guys, really get behind them, and together we can push, and I really think we can do it, so long as we all just stick together. Right, I got to have a mention now for the Supporters Trust, which is something I'm part of the committee, applied to be a board member. A lot of people think the trust is doing more harm than good for the club. I'd like to tell you now that, knowing the people that are on the board and the committee, I think, you know, you couldn't be further from the truth. We're talking about die-hard Newport County fans trying to do their very best for the club, and I've got to be fair, I can't really say much about it, as you know, but there's plenty more to come from the trust, so keep your eyes peeled, and we're definitely doing a lot for you this year, and mainly next year as well. Yeah, so video blog, something I'm going to look at continuing, so if you guys like what I'm doing here, then give me a thumbs up and I'll keep them coming. If not, tell me to get my ugly face off the internet, and you'll never see it again. Alright, cheers guys, up the county.